So here we go with my first game on the new Pokemon website. So you just watched me build a Bled Durant deck with Aggron in it, and let's see how it works. So we're in the versus mode, we click on next. Right now our deck is on basic yellow, so we want to hit change and select Durant. Now we click play now, and we get to search for available opponents. So here we go, Pokemon Picks 123 is going to be my first opponent. We draw our cards, and hey, I have a basic! And here we go where we wait. I've played several games since I made this audio. Basically, I made all the videos. I made a bunch of videos, and then in my spare time, I go back and I record the audio over them. So if things don't match up perfectly, that's why. And pretty much, there's still some glitches in the game. It's not perfect. There's some lags, but overall, it is a general improvement. And once we get trading, it'll be vastly improved. So, pretty excited that I started with the basic, and I have a pretty good hand actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose heads, and alright, I get heads. So I get to go first, and I draw another Durant, so really good. I'm gonna use Level Ball, and since I have two Durants in play and two Larons, looking at that Aggron, I think I'm gonna take that. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm just playing a basic yellow deck. I don't even remember if this has any variation to it. So I'm attaching the metal and Devour, which discards 2. With that heavy ball in my hand, that's going to let me get my Aggron, so I know in a few turns I'll have the Aggron too. So this is looking like it's already going to be a great game in my favor. If I can draw fairly decent on the next few hands, maybe get a supporter, just to make sure that things keep on going, I'll be great. Especially being that this is a yellow deck. Yeah, we're not looking at anything really challenging, so yeah. Here's where I'm just waiting. It starts out with a Togepi, which is Plead. Pretty good little draw. So it attaches, says, do I want to allow my opponent to draw 2 cards? And yes, I do. Because, 1, I don't want to take the damage to give him a prize, and 2, I actually want my opponent to draw as many cards as they can. It's going to make him deck out faster. So I evolved my Aggron into Laron. I attached another metal to my Durant, and my opponent conceded. So yeah. Maybe my opponent didn't like Durant's, or just didn't, yeah. So that was a really quick game, and I'm gonna play another one to hopefully give you guys a better idea of if, obviously this isn't gonna be a good example of if the deck works or not with Aggron in it, but try and give you guys a little bit better of an example. So my starting hand isn't nearly as good, don't have any Pokemon in it whatsoever, much less a basic Pokemon. So, I gotta shuffle back in, draw again, and there we go. 2 Durants. Unfortunately, no energy, but we do have the end to shuffle things up. So hopefully we're able to get something off of that. And here we go with a little bit of lagging. And we just have to pretty much wait. So, I've had some suggestions in the past with my videos if, during these like lagging sessions, if I should add in some music or something like that. And I'm still kind of considering that. Either that or I can just continue to ramble about crazy stuff. Looks like I am playing Twindell17655110. It'd be pretty cool. I know at this point, since this is a previous game, I've already recorded several games, and I've already played a couple of Poketubers, so it's really great as you can challenge your friends now on this site, which just makes it more interactive and helps you test out against some specific players. So here we finally get going. We both put down our Pokemon. I start off with 2 Durants. He starts off with 2 Pokemon as well. And let's see, I'm gonna choose heads again. Typically I choose tails, but for some reason I'm choosing heads on this one. I lose that one, and I see a Larvesta and a Dynamo. So, very interesting little roguish deck. Definitely not your typical eels. Larvesta, I think, allows you, or not Larvesta, Volcarona, I think that there's one Volcarona I think that lets you attach more from your discard. But there's also one that does, I think it increases your burn conditions. I believe this is that one, if I remember right. So he's going to play an interviewer's question and going to get some lightning, some fire, and looks like that's it. So Now we just wait. And I check it out. Super Singe gonna put 10 on me and burn me. Plays a Great Ball to search the top 7 cards of the deck, searching for Pokemon. And oh, Rayquaza. So Rayquaza is really awesome. Dragon Burst, you discard all basic fire or all basic lightning. Attach 2 Rayquaza into the discard pile, and then your damage is calculated based off of that. So I haven't drawn an energy yet, which is not good. So I'm going to attach that Eviolite, and I'm going to do N to get myself a new hand, and there's some energy. Also have an Emolga, so can use that if I need to get some Aerons out later, or more Durants. And going to attack. You can attack in a variety of different ways, from clicking on the card and clicking the attack, or using the menu off to the right. So I only was able to devour for 2. So not really a good start on my end. I was hoping to be able to get some Aerons on the bench, especially with pulling those Larons. And looks like he attaches a Lightning to the Larvesta and is going to do another Interviewers. And from the Interviewers is going to get a Fire. Going to play a Pikachu. So looks like, okay, so Super Singe, because of my Eviolite, doesn't do any damage to me, but it does burn me. And it looks like I take damage from the burn. So I'm going to attach that metal to my second Durant. Why am I undoing that action? Oh, I see why. First, I need to get more Pokemon on the bench. Second, I need to play that Emolga to be able to draw more with Bianca. So there's the Bianca. The Lava Ball just got me an Aeron. And I'm going to communicate in... Ooh, I got an achievement, Technician. Communicate in for... am I going to go for another Durant? Yep, going to go for another Durant. And I'm going to Devour. I'm still not quite sure why I attached the energy to Emolga. Maybe I was thinking in case I didn't get another energy off Bianca and this one was knocked out, I could use Emolga to fill up my bench. But it probably should have been putting that on Durant, just in case. So he's going to play an Elms and is going to get... Well, we have some options. He can get Electric, Raichu. Oh, there's Volcarona. So, Scorching Scales ability says you put 4 damage counters instead of 2 off of the burn. So, if I flip tails in a burn, I typically do 20 to myself. Because of Volcarona, I could potentially be doing 40 to myself, which is a kicker. So, here we go with a Magby. Now, Magby is not in the current format, I don't think. I think it's from an HGSS series. So, this guy is playing with some HGSS cards. That's alright. Magby, basically what it does is it burns you and then it goes to sleep. If it's sleeping, you can't hurt it. That's fine by me because with Durant, I'm not planning on hurting you. So I'm perfectly fine with that. The burn though does knock me out. So I'm gonna throw up Emolga because it has free retreat and wait to draw my card. And yeah, right now I'm playing on Evolving Lairon, attaching a metal to Durant, and hopefully drawing a supporter. Unfortunately, I did not draw a supporter, so yeah, there we go with Evolving. And going to attach that metal to Durant. Now, question is, do I call for family? And looks like I'm going to lose a turn off of the Devour, but I'm going to call for family. So I'm going to get another Aeron into play and get another Durant onto the bench. And that Durant will let me Devour for another card. And looks like my opponent did wake up, so it's going to be able to burn me again. And now if I could just draw a supporter and get some good draw cards, you know, something decent, I'll be in pretty good shape. I'm looking pretty good, so it burns me and immediately wakes up. And I don't take damage from the burn, I flip heads. So now I draw a Super Scoop Up of all things. Really don't need that, but we'll go ahead and put the Durant and the metal back in since I'm not drawing a metal and I'm afraid that if my other Durant gets knocked out, I might need it. So we're going to retreat. Emolga has free retreat, which is awesome. and I'm going to be able to devour for 3 with Durant. And I check his cards. He's got 28 cards left in his deck, so I still have a pretty long way to go. But if this is his basic strategy, is burning me with Magby and just taking the extra damage, assuming I flip tails with the Volcarona there on the bench, I have plenty of time. So he burns me, and I flip heads again, so another safe. I draw into another Super Rod. I only run 2, so it's very odd that they're both together. Now, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Switch, and then use Emolga's Free Retreat to go back to it. That's going to get rid of that burn condition, and, yeah, hopefully it keeps me in, just, in case I flip heads, or flip tails. So I'm going to Devour for another 3, get that deck down just a little bit further, and just hopefully slow him down. In addition to Durant winning but just by discarding all your cards, the goal of it is to slow you down enough by, screwing up your access to those cards that you can't do much. Now he's got quite a bit of energy built up on that Rayquaza, and I'm a little unsure of why he's not attacking with the Rayquaza, seeing that I don't have other metal energies on my bench. So it looks like I get lucky again and flip another heads, and definitely going to play that Level Ball if for no other reason to... Or am I going to play the Level Ball? No, play the Level Ball. Get another Lairon into play. Oh, and I didn't play it. Oh, well. I finally flipped tails on the burn, so I put some damage on myself, put 40 on myself, another one, I'll be knocked out. Not a good thing. I really should have used Level Ball to get another Lairon out onto the field, if for no other reason than to thin my deck out a bit. I'm not drawing into draw support right now. Any of my supporters, I think I run, what is it, Sharon, Bianca, Juniper, and N in here, so I don't know why I'm struggling with that so much. And I hit the tails and it gets knocked out. So unfortunately this is really bad because that metal is on Emolga, and I really need to draw into a metal energy to be able to keep the Devour going. And am I gonna draw? What am I gonna draw? I'm waiting to draw. Basically, I'm not allowed to draw until he takes his prize card, so he may not realize that he needs to draw his prize card right now, which is why we have a slight delay of game. So right now I'm just checking out his cards, seeing what they all do. I'm curious as to what the Pikachu is doing on the bench for. I don't think there's a really good, Raichu even in the old sets. So a little confused there. And still waiting for a good card. Or just really any card at this point. Draw your prize card, dude. Waiting. Now the good thing is that I have Super Rod in my deck. So probably this is the reason why I didn't use Level Ball. Because I anticipated, I had 2 more turns. I would need 2 flips to stay alive. By not using it, I can Super Rod the Durants back into my deck and then get them immediately back out with Level Ball. And I pull an N, so perfect. So now I need to do the Super Rod Level Ball combo. Play Super Rod, there we go. Going to put in that Durant and that Metal Energy. Just double check, make sure there's nothing else I can put back. And there's not. Going to grab the Durant, play it, and then I'm going to use N. So that hurts him as well. He goes down to 4 cards. And surprisingly, I don't hit an energy. But I do hit plenty of other supporters, so I'll have another shot next turn. And hopefully we'll get something going. So right now, I'm just going to have to leave that Emolga in the active position. So I can't really attack. I can't use Call for Family because my bench is full. I could use Call for Family to search my deck, but I really don't feel a need to do that right now. And to use its second attack, I need Lightning, so that's really not going to work either. So, there's an Electric. Now, the Electric is for the Rayquaza combination. You discard the energies with Rayquaza to do the damage, and then you put them back on with Eel. Very good combo. I'm not quite sure what it's really doing with Volcarona with the burn strategy, but alright, it's interesting. So he burns me again, he stays asleep, and awesome, I avoid the burn damage. So, I draw not into any energy, so now I'm trying to decide, do I want to go for the N, or do I want to go for the Sharon? And it looks like I go for the N, and there's one energy. Whew. Go ahead and attach it to my Durant with Eviolite. Really doesn't matter that I attach Eviolite because it's not going to reduce the burn damage. Eviolite only reduces the damage from attacks, not from special conditions. But, whatever. Just in case he, I don't know, starts attacking me with something crazy, I can reduce a little bit. So he still stays asleep, which is actually crucial right now. His deck is down to 14 cards, and without me being able to get into my Aggrons, or my single Aggron, that's really delaying me, and for him to stay asleep means unless he has a switch, he is stuck in the active position. So that probably gives me another turn to devour some more cards. So I believe he's going to play a Bill card to draw 2. I'm perfectly fine with that because that gets his deck down to 12 cards. Makes it gets me a little bit closer to decking him out. And now we just have to see if he drew a switch. With Magby and the risk of staying asleep and not being able to do anything on your turn, you pretty much have to have a maximum number of switches in your deck. And switches are pretty easy to get a hold of and to pull, so I'm sure he's probably got several of them. So hopefully for him, he's got a switch. And, well, doesn't look like he has the switch. So what I would probably do in this situation is I'd switch back to Rayquaza and use Rayquaza to attack because he has to take 4 prizes before I mill him out. So he's really got to take a prize this turn. So it looks like he just passes. Unfortunately, no switch for him. So, I know he doesn't have a switch in hand. My question is, do I use N and possibly give him a switch? But I don't want to discard all those good cards in my hand. So I do go for the N. And I'm still not drawing, I just need one other Pokemon in my hand with communication to be able to get an Aggron. Unfortunately, I'm not hitting that. So I just devour some more and he wakes up. So now he should be down to like 9 cards in the deck, I think, after he drew. Let's see what he gets. He is awake, so let's see if he retreats and takes out the Durant with Rayquaza. Looks like he's going to go for an Elm. There's nothing on the bench that can actually evolve right now, so I'm not really sure why he's going for that. Yeah, he can Roast Reveal, but he's only got 9 cards in the deck. He doesn't want to thin them out intentionally. So, you got enough for Rayquaza. Oh, and he just he burns me again. So, he wakes up, and there we go, I take some burn damage. So, I draw onto another energy, finally. It makes me feel a little bit better having some energy on the field. And my 2 supporters, Bianca's only gonna let me draw a couple of cards since I already have a pretty full hand. Ooh, now that was a good one. Sharon got me some great cards. I can evolve that Lairon, and I'm gonna communicate that Aeron in for Aggron. So I'm gonna be able to really take some of his deck out with that Aggron. So go ahead and play it. Yes, I would like to discard the top 3 cards, and I get an achievement. I'm an evolver. So there's 6 cards left. I'm going to go ahead and use the De-Evolution Spray. And now if that Lairon had been already evolved, I would have been able to immediately put it onto the other Lairon, but because it was evolved this turn, I have to wait until next turn. However, that De-Evolution Spray, very handy to, just get it off. So, looks like I have no other options left. I need to devour for another 3 cards, and then I think I pretty much have the game, because he has to take 4 prizes before I can discard the last 2 cards. Now, I do knock myself out on the burn, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw up the Emolga, which puts him down to 3 prize cards. Now, because I was knocked out in the burn in between turns, that does give him a little bit of a boost, but with only 2 cards left in his deck and a Metal Energy on that Devour, what he needs is to catcher up the Durant with the Metal Energy, knock that out, and then hope that I don't get another Metal Energy to devour his last card of the deck. Well, well, I guess there's 2 cards left, so he'd have 1 more turn after this, but that's only if he knocks out that Durant with the mental energy. If he doesn't, I'm going to devour those last 2 cards, and he's not going to be able to draw. Or if he needs to end me to put another card into his deck, or actually I guess that wouldn't put a card into his deck because he still has 3 prizes. But he needs to end me just to get that Aggron out of my hands. So he's going to promote a Raichu, so I'm a little confused by why the Raichu, because from what I can see on the bench, there is 1 fire and 2 lightning attached to that Rayquaza, which should be enough to knock me out. But he uses the Raichu to cover the weakness, to knock me out with the, to knock out the Emolga, and to do a little damage to the Durant as well. So, yeah, maybe if that play had come a little bit sooner, it would have been alright, but at this point, I have the game. So I'm going to evolve into Aggron to discard the top 3 cards of his deck. He only had 2, so that's it. I can go ahead and do some other stuff. I'll do Sharon to draw 3 more, and yeah, I could revive a Durant, discard another imaginary 3 cards, but there's really no point. I've won the game, so right now, yeah. Says your opponent wasn't able to draw a card at the beginning of the turn, and now you can check out all the cool stats. It goes with everything from damage you put out, cards you played, coins you flipped, all sorts of cool stuff. So, hope you enjoyed my first round of the new Pokemon online game.